replaced by a new approach called unsupervised learning. Supervised learning is all about dealing with neural networks using powerful algorithms such as clustering algorithms, including the Cummings algorithm, the most widely used in industry. Reinforcement learning is about just training model in some environment. Like maybe some of you heard about the games that can play themselves. It's actually closely related to reinforcement learning, like where the player that has artificial intelligence learns from environment, from the game and from game environment. And deep learning is a new technology. It's widely used by big corporations such as Google, Twitter, all the social networks to analyze our data, just and not only for this, for computer vision, for example, for automatic drivers, automatic cars, and so on. So let's talk about unsupervised learning. What's a neural network by itself? A neural network, that's some model that has input layers and output layers. Input layers process some data that can be inserted into neural network by a researcher or person that trains the neural network. For example, if I have a neural network that can classify some images, like classify whether this image is image of elephant or image of a cat. So firstly, the researcher must feed a lot of images into the neural network of elephant cats. And after that, when neural network knows how exactly this image, elephants and cats look like, it can, after that, predict whether the image that will be inputted in neural network is image of elephant or image of a cat. So it learns. First, we must train our neural network, and after that, it will be able to make some predictions. Reinforcement learning, as I stated before, is about the agent that acts in some environment, like the player, the neural network player, let's say, that just learns from some game environment. Like if we play, for example, Pac-Man. Pac-Man itself must just have some basic algorithm to move in the game. So after that, he can just go left and meet some enemy and die. So when he dies, we must let the neural network know that it's not right. Like we must die. We must survive in this environment and keep far from our enemies. So we must use some reward. Reward can be positive, or reward is a positive or negative value that's let the neural network know whether the move that the turn is right or not. Like so when the player dies, we must let the neural network know that must go away from the enemies and just keep far from other things. Okay, and in such way, the agent learns from environment. Yeah, and deep learning, as I stated before, is all about analyzing big amounts of data. Most of companies like Google and Amazon and other those social media networks use them for analyzing the huge amounts of data of users, and just after that make some advertisements based on this data that they collect from users. So deep neural networks differs from default neural networks in one. The only difference is the hidden layers, like they can filter data, and this causes most this leads to better data analysis. Like it's better for a neural network to just process, just learn the data that being put inside the neural network. So the hidden layers leads to better predictions. They helps us to get better predictions. So let's talk about the fields of applications of artificial intelligence. It's marketing, e-commerce, transportation, manufacturing, building, Internet of Things, education, astronomy, social medias widely used, and even the hardware of the optimization. So thanks for your time and attention.
Okay, thank you. Okay, does anybody have any questions? Okay. Now it's time to listen to Shляga Dmitro, and he's going to tell us about prospects for the development of electric mobility. Dmitro?
Yes, yes, I'm here, and I'm ready to present you my presentation. So, good morning to everyone. I'd like to introduce myself. I'm a first-year student on faculty Electric Power Engineering and Automatic, and my name is Dmitro. In my presentation, I would like to tell you about prospects for the development of electric mobility. So, let's start. The world has been constantly changed for millions of years. Studying these changes, scientists associated them with several types of revolutions, which you can see on second slide. The first revolution, called cognitive, is characterized by the emergence of modern man, language, and social skills, and took place all about 70,000 years ago. Neolithic revolution, which took place about 12,000 years ago, followed cognitive revolution and was accompanied by the emergence of organization, agriculture, cities, states, religions, and the stratification of society. Then, about 2,500 years ago, there was another basic transition called axial time, which led to even greater stratification of society in a few places on Earth. And the next transition, which began only 500 years ago, but still continues today, is called the Industrial Revolution. It includes the scientific and technological revolution, the industrial revolution, religious reforms, the emergence of capitalism, humanism, and nationalism. Over the last centuries, a rapid technological breakthrough took place and many discoveries and inventions have appeared, without which modern life is simply impossible. So let's talk about one of them. As you see on the third slide, one of such significant inventions are electric cars. Electric machines firstly appeared for a short time in the early 20th century and disappeared from view until the beginning of the 21st century, when the interest in low-toxic and environmentally friendly transport reappeared. At present, only few people know that at the beginning of the era of automobiles, cars with three types of engines such as industrial combustion, steam, and electric usually took part in sports competitions. Moreover, competitions for the most powerful and fastest electric car has continued up to now. However, almost everyone agrees with the obvious fact that the future lies in electric transport. Therefore, scientists, inventors, and entrepreneurs need to do the most important thing: to achieve the same level of autonomy as cars with an internal combustion engine have. This requires both technological breakthroughs and a developed infrastructure, quality service, and a network of charging stations. As far as technology is concerned, it is the main thing with which electric cars have no problems now. More and more manufacturers are introducing new all-electric models. The sports brand Porsche with the Taycan model would join their list too. Every year, companies manage to increase the mileage of electric vehicles on a single charge. The design of cars also improves. Currently, the biggest technological challenge for electric vehicles is battery. Weight, charge capacity, battery charging and discharging speeds, as well as weather conditions, limit the capabilities of electric vehicles. Though many developments already exist, only the confirmation of operation technologies, simplicity of the production process, and affordable manufacturing prices could potentially lead to an exceptional increase in the popularity of electric vehicles. Let's consider some statistics. The following facts confirm the growing popularity of electric cars in the world. During 2018, their share in sales of new cars in China exceeds 2%, in Sweden 6%, and in Norway as much as 40%. Ukraine did not stay aside, and in 2017 even entered the top 5 countries with the fastest growth rate of the electric car market. And what are the trends of electrification in Ukraine? As the trend of electrification has spread to commercial vehicles, the domestic market will also begin to catch up with the world in this direction soon. Now, one commercial car, a minivan Renault Kangoo ZE, is officially presented in Ukraine. But Ukrainian market continues to mature, and in 2020, a new Iveco daily electric van and Tesla semi-truck were even officially scheduled to appear on it. Besides, some experts believe that with developed infrastructure in cities, the payback period for commercial electric vehicles can be reduced by 3 years to 5 due to lower mileage and maintenance costs. Ukraine should also develop its own public electric transport. Solaris Bus and Coach from neighboring Poland produces Ubina electric buses. The company has recently received a large order, 2,050 buses for Milan and 130 for the municipality of Warsaw. In Ukraine, foreign manufacturers are still engaged in electric buses, and first certificate for an electric bus in Ukraine was received by the Chinese company Skywell. Have a look at the 7th slide. To accelerate the development of electric vehicles and the spread of them in Ukraine, the most important thing to do is to continue developing the infrastructure of charging stations. There are already several networks on the market with ambitious development plans, such as VLS Energy, Toka, Electro-UR, and Strum. They will also increase the share of high-speed charging stations that can charge a lithium-ion battery by 80% in 30 minutes. Tesla has also been planning the establishment of 2 charging stations in Ukraine during several years. Such stations would make it easier for Ukrainian electric car drivers to get to Europe, where the infrastructure is much more developed. As you can see, the prospects for the development of electric mobility are huge, and only the creation of the most comfortable conditions for the operation of electric vehicles could bring the future much closer. Thank you for attention.
Okay, thank you. And our next speaker is Anastasia, oh no, Severilov Andrei, and he will tell us about the usage of biogas stations in agriculture.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Nice. And can you see the screen?
Yes.
So, good morning. I'm truly glad to take part in this conference. My name is Andrei Severil, and my purpose is to tell you about usage of biogas plants in agriculture. First of all, what is biogas? Biogas is high calorific value gas produced by anaerobic decomposition of organic waste. Nowadays, biogas stations provide a great solution to a number of agricultural and ecological problems. Besides, these stations produce extremely effective and biologically safe fertilizers. And biogas stations works in following way. Organic input materials such as foodstuff remnants, fats, or sludge can be fed into the biogas plants as substrate. Renewable resources such as corn, beets, or grass serve as feed both for animals such as cows and pigs, as well for the microorganisms in the biogas plant. Manure, fortunately, is also fed into the biogas plant. In the fermenter heated to 39 degrees Celsius, the substrate is decomposed by the microorganisms under exclusion of light and oxygen. The final product of this fermentation process is the substrate and biogas with methane as the main ingredient. Once the substrate has been fermented, it is transported to the fermentation residues and storage tank and can be retrieved from there for further utilization. The residues can be utilized as high-quality fertilizer. Biogas manure has a lower velocity and therefore penetrates into the ground more quickly. Furthermore, the fermentation residue quite often has a higher fertilizer value and is less intense to the olfactory senses. Drying it and subsequently using it as dry fertilizer is also an option.